Hey, what's up, folks? This is Gray here, and today we are going to finally build out the pantry room. Now, uh, as you can see with the thumbnail, we're using plastic shelves, which everybody's like, don't do it, Gray. So, I can kind of give you guys a little bit of backstory, and yes, I'm going to ramble on a little bit here. You can skip forward if you want to see me building the shelves and building out the pantry, of course, if you don't want to hear this part, which is fine. But I figured I'd give it a backstory. So, these shelves, I've used these in my off-site location where I keep a lot of food at. I've had them for about 5 years. They're still going strong. It's about 150 pounds a shelf. And if you figure every 16-ounce can, so a 16-ounce can is roughly 1 pound, right? So 1 pound, how many cans can you put if you don't want to go to the max at 150 pounds? Let's say you want to do 75 pounds, or maximize how many cans that you have on the shelf specifically that can hold 150 pounds. So when you do all that mathing and you do it appropriately, it's not so bad. Now, maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the road, plastic might not be the option to go to. But this is a temporary thing, folks. This is a temporary thing. Eventually, I'll be taking these shelves out, redoing the whole pantry again, which is just part of the process sometimes, and using these shelves out in the garage for storage. Basically, I'm waiting on a business. Unfortunately, they're closing their doors. It's a restaurant slash bar slash whatever that have a lot of metal shelves that I'd like, industrial strength metal shelves or pantry shelves in their walk-ins and stuff like that, in their dry storage and whatnot. So I'm going to be getting those shelves and replacing all these shelves that we're going to be putting up today. Some people say that, well, it's counterproductive, but hey, we have to make things. I got to get these canned goods. I got to get this stuff on the shelves. I got to get it organized. Need to know where things are. I'm tired of things being in boxes. This is the cheapest, most quickest possible way that I could possibly pull this off. And I need to use these shelves out in the garage afterwards. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. But hey, I'm looking forward to hearing your comments down in the comment section of your experiences with plastic shelves versus metal shelves versus wood and metal, and ones that you just built yourself. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you have a space where you can build your own shelves, that might be optimal. Using 2x4s and 1/4 to 3/4 inch thick plywood, depending on the weight that you're going to be putting on and how you want it distributed. Hey, we all have our processes and the way things go. But for me, this is going to work. Now, here's one thing that some people forget. Whenever you apply yourself to put something together or build something, you want to do it right. So having the proper tools to do so is also another process that you need to think of when you're doing this. So here's what I've learned with plastic shelves. When you buy plastic shelves, or these are Home Depot plastic shelves. If you guys, everybody usually has a Home Depot in their area, the HDX version. People just push them together, and they're done with it. And then they put stuff on there and figure that the weight of the products will actually get the shelves to settle. I take it a step further. So what I like to do is the handy dandy rubber mallet. So I like to tap everything down and kind of make sure it's all nice and tight and fitting together. There's no sway. There's no, it's done right. So I don't know if they actually tell you to use a rubber mallet in the instructions, but this little rubber mallet has saved me time and headaches as tapping these rubber shelves together. Now, some people say we can find some metal shelves about the same price as these plastic ones. Not the deal that I got on these, folks. These were dirt cheap. And somebody like, well, if it's cheap, then it can't be that good. You'll be surprised. Like I said, I've used this brand before and haven't had any failures yet over the last 5 years in my offsite storage. Remember, you don't want to keep all your food or preps in general in one spot. Your house burns down, there's an accident, hurricane, tornado, whatever the case, and wipes out your entire home. You want to have not all your eggs in one basket. There we go. But anyways, rubber mallet. So that's going to come in handy there. And also, sometimes I like to use things like this. I don't know if you can see that. Let me back my chair up a bit. But things like this. And you'll see how this works here. Some of you folks might be familiar with this. But this thing works wonders for organizing your cans and following in that first in, first out rule. You want to follow that rule so to make sure everything that you do this is going to be a working pantry. What I mean by working pantry, this is just not long-term storage. There will be some things in here that are long-term storage, but it's also going to be a working pantry where the family will come in and grab things off the shelf to have for dinner. And then as those things get pulled, we'll have this clipboard that I'll kind of show you, and I'm going to build out a list, but this is going to be a kind of a multi-part thing here. But we're going to do the whole build out pantry. You're going to see me today build the shelves. I'm only going to build one, and then I'll cut, because I know you guys don't want to watch me build like 6 or I don't know, 7 shelves or whatnot. I forget how many that I got. I figure you guys don't want to see that kind of stuff. But I'll build one out to show you how I build it, and then we'll start putting the food on and then kind of show you the finished product and, wrap it up. So I wanted to say, I think that's about it. But yeah, working pantry, mostly food in here. There'll be some other storage in here as well. You know, you got to utilize the space that you have. And then once I finish the garage, I will show you that space as well and how I'm going to start organizing things there. Organization to me is huge. It's key to knowing where everything is and how much you have. You know what I mean? Because sure, if you have lots of stuff stacked somewhere or put somewhere, but you don't know how much you have or expiration dates, if that matters to you or whatnot, it's just, to me, I like to know. I guess I'm a very methodical person. Anyways, I will stop rambling on and get into the building of the first shelf into this whole process. I hope you enjoy this video. It's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time in the new home. And thank you for watching. And I'll be back here shortly. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and cut this shelf open and get the plastic off and whatnot. And start building out this first part of the shelf, which is the base and whatnot. And basically, I mean, they're honestly really simple. Like I said, just a couple little whacks with the rubber mallet kind of keeps everything into place, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and get this open and get this set up and then build it and show you the stability of it once it's done and see how shaky it is and whatnot, so you guys can kind of see it up front. Because you never know who might be thinking about something like this, or thinking like, well, you know, they have a small apartment, they don't want to put metal in there, or for whatever reason that someone wants to use plastic, or they only have so much space, so they don't need a shelf that can hold 10,000 pounds or something like that, you know? Maybe they need a shelf that can hold, you know, maybe a few hundred pounds and whatnot. So this might be beneficial to those folks out there as well. And we'll go from there, you know? All right, so we have our parts all laid out. Those are all the legs. Those are the end caps and your feet. There's my handy dandy rubber mallet. And then we have our shelves laid out. And like I said, these things are pretty much, you can put these things together in no time. But we'll start with the bottom section first and then build our way up. So I'll push in there, put it in there, just do a couple taps there and kind of follow along with where I'm going. Maybe this does nothing, maybe it does something. Who knows? But this is my process for putting these shelves together, and where I've had little to no issues building these things out or having them fail on me. Going from using these for the last 5 years in a different location where I have some offsite storage at there. Then go ahead and flip that over. If you notice, none of the feet fell out, which is always a plus and whatnot. And we'll go ahead and start building the shelf out vertical. Okay, so when I put my first shelf on, sometimes these things will be a bit loose. They won't sit in there. Sometimes they're a little bit tight and whatnot. And that's when the rubber mallet comes in handy to make sure everything's nice and flush. Now you can use a level as well. My apologies for the noise. But then I know it's going to be on there pretty good. Now we're just going to put these end caps on, and that's going to finish the shelf. The reason I put these on, some people don't. I like to use all of it, but the reason I'll put these on is so nothing that falls through here, because then you might have this whole thing where everything is going to fall down through this tube, be it debris, dust, or something that might be important to you. But put your end caps on. All right, folks. So as you can see behind me, we got a lot of stuff done today. I got to wrap things up because little Miss Gray has her, I got to pick her up from her volleyball game that she has this afternoon. Thankfully that the wife came in and for the assistant helped me out, put some of the stuff together and get some of the stuff on the shelves. And we have so much more to do. But like I said, this is just part one of a journey here in the pantry room as it's going to be growing. I thought about a few things, learned a couple of things, kind of putting this together in the process. And, you know, I can give you a real quick walk around real fast to kind of give you an idea of what I've done so far, what's going to be done, and so on and so forth. And then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Now, real quick, to kind of give you an idea of some of the stuff that I have, I'm going to try to organize this a little bit better. But I'm trying to keep things like, you know, like coffees and teas and stuff like that around there. And then some of my condiments, things that we use a lot, like the honey, and so on and so forth. And so a lot of you folks have asked about the weight of the shelf. So you can see here, if you watch here, there's a gap and there is a little bit. But here, let me kind of show you something. Lighting's not the best in here. but there is no movement. There is a little bit of play right here on this kind of like the weakest point of a shelf. And like you said, you figure I got, if you add each can in here, this can hold 36 cans, sometimes more depending on how you have it set up. And this is why I love these things, because you can just add so much more. Each one of these cans is roughly about 16 ounces, if I'm correct. That one says, what is that one? I can't see. 15 ounces, but close enough to a pound there, and whatnot. So when you look at this, you kind of get an idea of, 36 cans per rack. So 36 and 36. Let's do our math real quick. That is 72 pounds roughly on the shelf. Now the shelf is supposed to hold 150 pounds. I would not have put 150 pounds on here. That's just my perspective, but it'll work for now. And then my bigger cans are going to go up there on the top shelf and whatnot. And it does really great on these, number 10 cans of all that kind of stuff like that, depending on where you're going to go with it and how far you're going to go back with it, of how many of each thing that you may have. Again, once we fill this all with our nutrient survival food, we'll be able to tell there. And like I said, then we have our buckets. And then, like I said, there's just so much more to go in regards to like the water stuff. I'm kind of being redundant here, but here, let me come back to me real fast. All right, folks, now that I flipped the camera back towards me, because I kind of wanted to talk directly to you, the community and the viewers out there in regards to what else, what we're going to do and why I have certain things in certain ways. We're probably going to do further videos on this and how things will develop and progress in the pantry room. And also, I'm trying to think, where is that out on the camera? Right there. Say how you got, certain things where there's, holes and stuff like that. I wanted to involve you, my viewers, in regards to, like, when we do future prepper pantry hauls, so we have space to put stuff in here in the home outside of just, moving things over to my secondary storage location, which is, like another refrigerated spot that's off-site. I've talked about it in the past and whatnot. Like I said, again, don't keep all your eggs in one basket, kind of thing like that. But anyways, we still have tons of things to unpack, things to add, and kind of, figure out where we're going to put things, how we want to kind of organize it and stuff like that. But this is the start. This is the start of Gray's, pantry build or whatnot, if that's what we're going to call it. But easy enough, try to add some organization to it. Try to, remember, put food in it that you and your family are going to consume. The last thing you want to do is buy a bunch of stuff that no one eats. Of course, when they're starving, they'll eat anything, but you want to kind of, make it a lot more palatable and make everybody happy, because why, survive when you can thrive, per se, right? That's the old saying, the old adage, in regards to survival preparedness and whatnot. But so I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. If you want to, if hopefully you have picked up some ideas, or maybe you have some ideas to share. I hope to hear down from you in the comments, your thoughts, be it positive, negative, as long as they're constructive in the aspect of being polite to one another or myself or anybody else. It's always good to hear from you, my viewers, and kind of, help each other. That's what community is helping each other. And, by being here on YouTube and working with a lot of you guys and talking to you, a lot of folks, it's awesome. It's an amazing thing. And I look forward to, the next live stream and getting to chat with you folks. Other than that, remember, folks, you are not alone. This is Gray Man. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the rebound. God bless.